For the past 60 years in Myanmar, also known as Burma, the military regime has oppressed the country's ethnic minorities, such as the Kachin and Karen. Over 500,000 people have been displaced. Hundreds of thousands of others have fled to neighboring countries like China and Thailand. The reforms made over the last few years have been empty promises to the most vulnerable people in the country. While many welcomed the election of Aung San Suu Kyi's Democratic Party in 2015, the army has continued its attacks on ethnic peoples. An additional 250,000 people have been displaced, and more live cut off from the world. These people want nothing more than to follow their traditional ways of life. They seek to preserve their languages, cultures, and traditions, but the army's oppression is devastating. In the isolated mountain villages, disease and malnutrition are constant threats. Without safe water, electricity, sanitation, or medical care, when someone gets sick, even common illnesses are life-threatening. These risks are greatest for children and new mothers. Without medical care, 13 out of every 100 newborns will not survive their first month, and nearly 1 in 125 women die from childbirth. The causes of this suffering are well known and very treatable. Malaria, dysentery, and pneumonia are most common. But there is hope. From among these peoples, community-based backpack medics have risen. Their teams are 3 to 5 medics and are recruited from the villages they serve. They are predominantly women. At first look, this may seem uncommon in a part of the world where there are few opportunities for women and girls. The faulty education system has led to deepened differences between genders. When a family can only afford to send one child to school, they send their boy. However, this wasn't always the case. There exists in Myanmar a rich precedent of empowered women. For example, the famous leader of the democratic movement, Aung San Suu Kyi, is a woman, and the Maytao Clinic, which treats roughly 150,000 migrants from Myanmar each year, is founded by Dr. Cynthia Mong. Dr. Cynthia provided treatment during the mass exodus of refugees from Burma, and the clinic grew over time. Now villagers from Myanmar risk travel to Thailand for complicated cases, such as this family who is awaiting a heart transplant for their baby. It is at the Maytao Clinic that backpackers got started. There was no care available for people who were too sick or too remote to seek medical care in Thailand. So what do you do when people are too sick to come to the hospital? You go mobile.
Where they are, the medics are the only medical care available to the villagers. They treat people with the illness like malaria, pneumonia, and they also treat those injured by gunshots and landmines. They also help pregnant women.
Backpackers is empowering a new generation of women who otherwise would have little opportunity in a war-torn country. Their reason for becoming medics is simple. They want to help their families and serve their communities. For training, the medic recruits come to a safe, isolated village. Here they learn the basics of being a medic, with classes in anatomy, diagnosing basic diseases, first aid, maternal, child, and community health protocols, and they gain an understanding of medicines, dosages, and their administration. As members of Dining for Women, you will create opportunities for 60 women to be trained as backpack medics. Each month, these medics will travel between 9 to 12 villages and isolated locations. Each team serves over 2,000 people. The medics are the only source of care to treat injuries and illnesses for villagers and internally displaced people in these remote areas. They treat people with malaria and pneumonia, and they also treat those injured by gunshot or landmines. The medics also help pregnant women by providing prenatal care, childbirth support, and postpartum care. The backpack teams deepen the knowledge and skill base of traditional birth attendants who customarily served women in these areas, modernizing the traditional skill base with a better understanding of sanitary birthing practices, as well as how to handle more complicated births.
While the medics reach the peoples, they do good works. Malaria deaths reduced by nearly 15% and maternal mortality rates down up to 10-fold.
The results have been outstanding. In 2016, the medics delivered over 400 babies without the loss of a single mother. More spectacular, the infant mortality rate has dropped almost 100-fold. In addition, the medics have reduced child mortality by 60% compared with areas in the region who don't have medics available. In addition to treating patients, the medics teach sanitary community health practices. They help build latrines and secure clean water. They provide medicine to counter worms and malnutrition. This provides immediate results by reducing the number of people contracting malaria or dysentery. Over the past decade, the number of people suffering from malaria dropped from 1 in 10 to 1 in 100. In addition to training new female medics, this year, Dining for Women will sponsor 12 teams dedicated to treating girls and women by outfitting the teams with medicine and supplies. With your support, more than 26,000 women and girls in 138 villages will have medical care. We anticipate over 350 births will be assisted. Their support will also include family planning education and will assist the victims of sexual assault, which are 2 additional ways women in this region need help. The Army continues to use rape as a weapon of war and intimidation. Your support for backpack medics through Dining for Women will save the lives of women and girls, and it will also improve the quality of life for ethnic women in Myanmar by providing education, a useful skill set, and an opportunity to provide care for women and children who have been impacted by years of military conflict. We believe that investing in the health and education of women and girls in Myanmar is essential to creating lasting peace in the country. On behalf of Burma Humanitarian Mission, our backpack medic partners, and thousands of women and girls miles from the headlines, we thank you.